trial tonight. America's top Democrats, you know, the ones that were all obsessed about January 6th for years and years, they are doing absolutely nothing at all to calm tensions in major cities which have already been, you know, wrecked by looting and arson and other acts of violence. Instead, similar to what we saw in the Summer of Love in 2020, they're just adding fuel to the fire with one recycled smear campaign after another against President Trump. The talking points have now gone out, and almost everyone in the state-run legacy media mob, the radical left, Democratic Party, they're telling the American people Trump is a dictator, a threat to democracy. Democracy is in peril and on the line. And don't believe the violence that you see day in and day out, night in, night out, with your own eyes. They are lying to you. They are cheap, fake videos. And the riots, they are mostly peaceful. And everything is all Donald Trump's fault. Now, we have heard these smears over and over again. By the way, a lot of good. This did Democrats and the left-wing media mob during the election of 24. Let's just keep lying to the American people and simply expect a different result. That would be the definition of insanity. This is why Democrats lost in 24, why the legacy media died on November 5th of 24, and they're officially dead. People no longer listen to them. They don't believe them, and for good reason, they don't trust them. Remember, these are the same people. They all lied. They all said the border is closed, the border is secure, and Joe Biden is his best self and so cognitively strong. And those are cheap, fake videos that they're running about Joe Biden. Now, this time, the reasoning is even more ridiculous. Apparently, Democrats and democracy is in peril for three things. One, Donald Trump is enforcing America's immigration laws. That would be the rule of law. That would be his constitutional duty. And deporting people who are here illegally, prioritizing those who are convicted of heinous crimes, those murderers, rapists, known terrorists, cartel members, et cetera, et cetera. And two, Donald Trump deployed the National Guard to protect federal buildings and federal workers from rioters in Los Angeles. Three, the president organized a military parade to celebrate the Army's 250th birthday this weekend. Now, of course, every fake resistant movement, they need an equally superficial leader. And tonight, look who they've chosen. None other than the sanctuary state leader himself, Governor Gavin Newsom. And Governor Newsom is desperate for the spotlight, loving every minute of it. Now, that doesn't mean he's on the ground with the people and law enforcement in L.A. leading a movement to bring peace to a state's largest city. No. Instead, after spending the first few days of the L.A. riots getting into fights on X with people like me and others and appearing on every left-wing legacy media outlet in the country like MSDNC, by the way, he even had time for podcasters. Newsom got in, and by the way, not big podcasters. Newsom got in front of another camera last night to deliver an impassioned plea all against Donald Trump. Talk about Trump derangement syndrome. Donald Trump takes up more space in Gavin's mind than you know, pretty much anybody ever has taken up in anybody's mind. Although they did have a lot of audio problems if you were watching last night, and he did look tired. But he's not tired because he was on the ground helping the people of Los Angeles and offering moral support to law enforcement. Now, the governor was tired from all the interviews he was doing. The governor who barred Californians from attending church, banned all indoor singing in 2020 while he himself was eating out, French laundry, sending his kids to in-person learning at private schools, when everybody else's public school kids, they had to stay home. He has now declared that President Trump is, quote, assaulting the First Amendment. Now, by the way, nobody cares what people say. It's what they do that we're talking about. Newsom insisted, quote, the founding fathers did not live and die to see this moment. That's right. They didn't live and die to see states like California destroyed by people like him. Now, this dramatic, moralistic, pre-rehearsed tirade by Gavin Newsom was a response to President Trump's use of the National Guard and the U.S. Marines to protect federal buildings, federal workers during a riot. We keep reminding you that as per sanctuary status laws in California, sanctuary city laws in Los Angeles, local law enforcement is not allowed to aid and help and assist federal agents, that they were the ones that were under assault. Stephen Miller points this out. According to Gavin Newsom, this is what founders were fighting for. Rioters waving foreign flags, lighting cars on fire, looting stores because Donald Trump is actually enforcing this country's immigration law. Look at your screen. These are some of the criminal illegal aliens. Gavin, I've sent this to you. You have it. You've watched it. You asked me to carry your speech last night. Gavin, answer the people of California. Call the families of the victims on the screen. Put it up full so people can actually read it. You know, because you allowed this and aid and abet and assist these people. You give them free health care and education in your state of California. You and Democrats are fighting to protect people. Yes, some of them are killers and rapists and gang members and child molesters. And Gavin Newsom and leading Democrats, guess what? They're leading the movement to help keep them in the country as they sat idly by while 12, 20 million, whatever the number is, of illegal immigrants were entering our country unvetted under Joe Biden and Kamala Harris and Alejandro Mayorkas. They're moving to states like California so they can get taxpayer-funded education for their kids and they can get free health care in the state of California. No wonder why they're borrowing money from Medi-Cal. And by the way, other states contribute to health care out there. That has to stop. Once again, Democrats are taking the most extreme, the most unpopular position imaginable. Look at this new poll. Matt Towery, Insider Advantage. By the way, this guy actually nailed the 2016 presidential election, 2020 and 2024. 59% of voters approve of Donald Trump's decision to send in the Guard to California. Only 39% disagree. At the same time, 70% of Americans disapprove of D.C. Democrats. And by and large, people just want simple things. They want good schools where the kids learn reading, writing, math, science, arithmetic, and computers. They want stable jobs. Oh, Donald Trump has $10 trillion. Manufacturing that will be created for prescription drugs and pharmaceuticals and chips and everything else and automobile manufacturing, all coming back to the country. And guess what? They don't want men playing in women's sports, Gavin, and all you coastal elites cramming woke politics into every corner of everybody's everyday life. They're sick of it. Gavin, nobody wants to be told what cars to drive and put in their driveway. We don't want to be told we can't have a gas stove. We don't want you to lecture us about our refrigerators, our AC units, and the fact that most people don't want crappy paper straws. We prefer plastic. People want safety, they want security, they want a secure border, they want a majority of Americans, what everybody wants. They want illegal immigrants deported. I don't care if you come to this country. I'm the product of immigrants. All four of my grandparents came legally from Ireland. Go through the process, do it legally. I don't really give a rip where you come from. Welcome to our country. Give us time to vet you. Let's do a background check. Don't be a financial burden on the American people. And come in legally. And by the way, Americans do not want illegal immigrants prioritized over the lives of law enforcement and the people in their state, like California. This is why I've been telling you, generational, transformational, there's a huge political shift unfolding before our eyes in this country. Democratic Party, they have lost the plot. Remember, it wasn't long ago, Democrats sounded just like President Trump on illegal immigration. Take a look.
All Americans, not only in the states most heavily affected, but in every place in this country, are rightly disturbed by the large numbers of illegal aliens entering our country. The jobs they hold might otherwise be held by citizens or legal immigrants. The public service they use impose burdens on our taxpayers. That's why our administration has moved aggressively to secure our borders more, by hiring a record number of new border guards, by deporting twice as many criminal aliens as ever before, by cracking down on illegal hiring, by barring welfare benefits to illegal aliens. We are a nation of immigrants, but we are also a nation of laws. It is wrong and ultimately self-defeating for a nation of immigrants to permit the kind of abuse of our immigration laws we have seen in recent years, and we must do more to stop it.
Bill Clinton sounds like Donald Trump. Boy, have times changed. Democrats have since traded in sound policy, common sense, for utter lunacy and insanity. Listen to the Chicago mayor, Brandon Johnson. Listen to this.
They're terrified. They are absolutely terrified. And that's, look, I remember a few stand-ups ago when I talked about what terrorism looks like. This is it. There should be no question to what our country would look like had the Confederacy won. We're seeing it on full display.
People being terrorized are law enforcement, the law-abiding people of Los Angeles that deserve to be protected by their government. By the way, Mayor Johnson, he has a whopping 6.6% approval rating. Great job, Mr. Mayor. Democratic Party, they are in shambles. The DNC already holding a re-election for two of their vice chairs, including David Hogg, after nonstop drama and infighting. Meanwhile, Senate Minority Leader Chuckie Schumer, his approval rating is at a 20-year low, 17%. Great job, Chuckie. And today he ran from the cameras when he was asked about the violent riots. Take a look.
Senator, what do Democrats mean when they say that the LA protests are peaceful? Senator, what do Democrats mean when they say that LA protests are peaceful?
Thank you.
Do you consider burning private property peaceful?
Now, there's a guy who I know well. He never ran away from a television camera his entire life. Now, tonight I do have some good news for the Democratic Party. No matter how incompetent, unpopular, dishonest, weird, and bizarre they have become, their friends in the legacy media mob, they're always going to have their backs. And today, as per usual, predictably, White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt forcefully, powerfully confronted their latest smear campaign against President Trump. Take a look.
So if there were peaceful protests on Saturday for the militant parade, President Trump would allow that?
Of course the president supports peaceful protests. What a stupid question.
What a stupid question, and there were a lot of them today. Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.